Greetings and salutations. Welcome to our segment on Portswigger Web Security Academy. We are covering SQL injection. Today's focus is on the lab, blind SQL injection with time delays and information retrieval. So as always, we will want to go ahead and start the lab. Let's go on and scroll down to Access Lab. While that loads, let's continue and read what this is about. The lab contains a blind SQL injection vulnerability. The application uses a tracking cookie for analytics and performs a SQL query containing the value of the submitted cookie. The result of the SQL query are not returned, and the application does not respond any differently based on whether the query returns any rows or causes an error. However, the query is executing synchronously. It is possible to trigger conditional time delays to infer information. The database contains a different table called users with a column called usernames and password. You need to exploit the blind SQL injection vulnerability to find out the password for the user administrator. To solve the lab, log into the administrator user. So now we know that. If we scroll on down a little bit, the hint does tell us there's some helpful payloads in that cheat sheet. So let's keep that in mind. Let's come over here, and as always, we'll pop over. So we pop over to repeater, turn our interceptor on. We'll go ahead and click on, go straight to my account. Back over here, we'll find requests. There's the get one for the account. Go ahead and just repeater. Make sure it's there. There. Go and turn interceptor off. Back to repeater. So we'll always click send the first time to make sure it looks okay. So we'll be starting with the tracking ID cookie. At the end here, we'll put a quote mark followed by a semicolon. Then we're going to do space. I don't think we need a space. I'm going to do select space case when parenthesis. This is where our condition. So we're going to do 1 equals 1 because that's always true. And then we space then pg underscore sleep underscore 10 for 10 seconds, else pg underscore sleep needs to be there, and then 0 for 0 seconds. And I think we do canned dash to end for the comment. If I remember properly for this, we will need to highlight all this, and then we're going to do Control U. That way we URL encode it, and we'll click send. If this seems to take a while, then that means we have blind SQL injection, which is great. We know it's working. So this is taking quite a while. And when we can prove this, we'll come into our 1 equals 1 here, and we'll say 1 equals 2, because that's false. And let's see, it comes back right away. That means that we have SQL injection. Fantastic. Now, what can we do with this to find out more intriguing information? Let's dive in. So we need to verify that the account administrator actually exists. Just for good practice, right? So we're gonna get rid of the 1 equals 1, and we're gonna type in username equals, I'm gonna do like administrator, and we're going to surround that with a single quote. And at the end, we have to, after the word in, we're going to put a space, and we got to tell it from what database. So we're going to do from space users, and again, just highlight all that and make sure it's just URL encoded. Well, actually, you probably don't need to do all of it, like do the spots where we added. So anytime there's a space, it's going to be a plus. That administrator part there, and then from the and to the user, you URL encode that as well. Okay, so we'll click send, and it's taking a while. So something we can also do is, instead of doing 10 seconds, we can change this down to like 5 seconds, so we're not waiting here forever. So I think once this completes, I'll show you that right now. Change that to a 5, and it won't take as long, so that's good. So we know that the administrator account does exist. From here, what we need to know is how long is that password? Okay, now we're going to dive into that section. So we're going to come up to administrator portion here. And from this spot, we're just going to do a plus, which represents space. We're going to do and. We're going to do the plus for space and then length. Then we do another plus. Actually, no. Here we're going to do another parentheses. Password, comma 1, comma 1. Oh, no, yet. That's not quite yet. We just do password. And we'll go ahead and end the percent. And then we're going to do the greater than sign 1. And it should be already in a parenthesis. I think that's all we're going to do here. Okay. And if this takes a while, then we know the password is more than 1 character, which most likely is, right? So what I like to do is just jump in increments of 5 or 10 until I find something. So we're going to go, is it more than 10 characters? If it is, we'll try 20 and so forth. And then we'll shave back down. So let's try 20 characters. And what do we get with 20? Right away. So we know it's not larger than 20. For curiosity, let's try 19, since that seems to have been pretty common recently. 19. So we know that the password is 20 characters because it's longer than 19, but not longer than 20. Okay. So now we got to refine our query to try to figure out what the password might be. So we'll start right where that 19 is, and we're going to backspace all the way to password. From here, we're going to do the comma 1, comma 1. So we're going to do the first character right here in the password. And we're going to say, does this equal semicolon, or not semi, single quote, a single quote. I think we need to end the parenthesis. Give me one moment to this. I think I have all the. All right, so something we need to do also is we need to add a substring here. So this length part doesn't really matter anymore. So we're not trying to find the length. We will do substring. And the substring that we're going for is this password. Send. And that came back pretty quick, so luckily not it. So we'll go ahead and right click this and we'll send it to intruder. Pop over here in intruder, we'll clear out everything. We'll find our little A. We're going to highlight it. We're going to add our payload to there. Simple attack. Drop this down to brute enforcer. Turn the maximum to 1 and the minimum to 1 there. We'll go ahead and click our start attack. And since we use the community edition of Burp Suite, it will be slower. Our attack will be throttled, but for what we're doing, that's fine. And you'll notice here, we already know the first character of the password. Can you tell? Anything stand out? So if you look, you see the response received. This here is an outlier. So we know the first character is actually B. Okay, pretty cool, right? So that's how we can know, is by that right there. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is go ahead and close out this and discard that. We are actually going to change this from sniper to a cluster bomb. From here, we are going to change this value of 1 there, and we're going to add a payload to it as well. So the 1 will not be brute enforcer, but instead numbers. And we're going to go from 1 to 20. All right. And sequential, just only do 1 step. And we're going to drop this down for the second payload position, which is the 2, or the A there. And we want that to be the brute enforcer. And again, minimum character 1 and maximum length as 1. Something we also want to do is go to this resource pool, and I've created this custom resource pool, and pretty much what we'll do is our concurrent will only be 1 at a time. So pretty much you do a maximum concurrent and it will just be 1. But for now, we'll just go ahead and use this one here, and we will start our attack. And if I remember right, yes, this here has 720 opportunities to find something. And as you guess, this could take quite a while. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, looks like it's finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to everyone that has over the 5,000 response column here. And we're going to just hold shift small. We're going to right click them and change it to like this. All right. Here. So only highlighted items. Save that. There you go. So you change that here. That's all the thing we see. We change it put like that, and then grab ourselves a little pad here. All right. And we'll go down and we'll make our password real fast. So we got B8, looks like S4 KU2 BQ 450 BJPK. Okay, like 21 site. I'm going to put administrator. Paste that there. And congratulations, you solved the lab. You did a great job, guys. I do want to let you know that I had to redo this lab one more time because the lab timed out on me. So just let you know. So what I actually did, you guys want to, is I split up the attack in half. So I did the first 10 and then 11 through 20 as 2 separate attacks simultaneously. So it went a lot faster. So you may want to try that if you also get timed out. Anyway, congrats. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Hope you're doing well. And as always, guys, stay safe, stay secure, and stay ethical. I'll see you next time. Be awesome.